We're starting this countdown, man. Offensive tackles. I'm excited to do this. Never done it in my channel before in history, so this is going to be new, man. And from now on, obviously next year we'll have a new list and see who makes it up the ladder, who doesn't, who declines. But I mean, this is exciting news, man. So Terron Armstead, man, 32 years old, 11 years in the league. He is an honorable mention. 3 years, $38.63 million left in his contract. 10 games that he played 524 snaps, three penalties on him, one sack that he allowed, and he was a Pro Bowler. Again, just a big dude, man. He's been doing this for a long time. I mean, here is a video of the fact that he was able to hold his own against one of the best pass rushers in the league, and Myles Garrett already says enough about what type of pass protector he is. Very underrated in the run. Definitely can move quick for a big guy, and yeah, man, honestly, very impressive. Impressive stuff for him. Definitely a veteran in this league. So, can he go back to a top 10? Possibly, but he's got to stay healthy for that. So, but overall, definitely deserving of it. Next up, we got Trent Brown, man. Honorable mention. Definitely a guy that's been doing this for a long time. Huge success with the New England Patriots. Another one of those Bill Belichick moves that just worked out well. Yeah, I mean, he's been in the league for a while and still has hold his own. And yeah, I mean, Trent Brown's 31 years old, 9 years in the league, 1 year, $4.75 million to now protect Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. I think that's a great upgrade for Cincinnati. I think they needed a pass protector there, and a guy that's reliable, a household name in him. So I think that's huge for them. You're looking at Trent Brown, 11 games that he played, 579 snaps, man. Two penalties, three sacks allowed. Again, the sack department, for tackles, I mean, you can't always get 0 to 1 sack. It happens like that. Didn't play that many games, 11 games. As long as he's healthy, though, he's definitely a factor. And he could be a top 10 guy again, definitely. But as of right now, he's honorable mention. And I like to see what he does this year. Yeah. Next, we got Ronnie Stanley, man. Honorable mention. He is one leg injury away, though, from retirement. He's just broken. His knee is, I feel like it's robotic at this point. I feel bad as a Ravens fan, just to see Ronnie Stanley have the type of stuff that he had early in his career and where he was at, and him being a legitimate pass protector, top 10, possibly top 5 left tackle in this league, and his decline of injuries and all that has been sad, man, to say the least, just because he is extremely athletic, extremely useful, extremely powerful in the line. So it's sad, man. But can he pull it together? Will he be healthy for a full season? We'll see, man. Stanley is 30 years old, 8 years in the league. He's got 1 year, $7.5 million on the contract. 13 games he played 721 snaps, 10 penalties on him, and four sacks allowed. It's definitely a lot. But again, Ronnie Stanley, man, as of right now, I'm rooting for the guy. I really hope that he can stay healthy and do what he does best, and that's be a pretty solid tackle when he's healthy. Next tackle is not looked at as definitely underrated. Is definitely going to be a top 10 offensive tackle of this league, and is um, one of the many offensive line and an impressive offensive line in Indianapolis that does not get enough attention nor recognition. Bernardo Raymond is something special, dude. He definitely has that it factor. Great run blocker. Definitely great pass protector. He's got a lot of great intangibles, and for a big man, can move, dude. Can move. Big body guy. Um, 26 years old, 3 years in this league. He has 2 years, $2.6 million left in the contract. Played 15 games, 1,012 snaps, six penalties, four sacks allowed. Again, uh, offensive line are going to give up sacks. It's just the nature of the game. Defensive ends are getting, uh, you know, freakishly athletic. They're able to, you know, make a couple moves and they're right there. So I mean, offensive line will give up sacks, man. In this league, it's not It's not that they're not going to. It's not really the amount of sacks. It's kind of like the logging of sacks, and in terms of like, did they give up these many sacks? How many sacks have they been giving every week? It's kind of the most important thing. I mean, one or two sacks you give up in the game, it is what it is. But for the most part, you want to shrink that number down, right? Every week, you don't want to give up multiple sacks, right? You don't want to give up that. But Raimann is one of these guys that is extremely talented and extremely overlooked. So he should be on this countdown for sure, and he should be a top 10 member soon. Next up, first of all, I just want to let you know how difficult it is for me to even put a list together of offensive line. There's not many highlights of this, so it's going to be a lot of repetitive plays. And I apologize if it is so boring for you guys. So I'll keep it where I'm not going to talk as much, just so I can get through it. Donovan Smith is 31 years old, 7 years in the league, 1 year, $3 million with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just a insurance guy for the Chiefs. Gives them a solid pass protector, but he's just extremely he's aging, right? He's aging, and his foundation and just him as an offensive line, how he carries it now, is declining. So yeah, he's one of these guys that's going to be on the decline every single time. So I do not see this man, being extremely impactful for 5, 6 years. I don't see him on a top 10 list. Um, Donovan Smith, 12 games that he played, 749 snaps, 9 penalties, 2 sacks allowed. Again, for a guy that's been in the league for a while, it's not bad. It's really not bad. The penalties are, killing him for sure. Sacks allowed, 2, that's not even bad. Just overall, can he limit the penalties? We'll see. He's definitely slowing down. So it's kind of not even his fault. Just, we'll see how it goes, man. So overall, though, good thing on him. Definitely great thing on him. Donovan Smith should be honorable mention right now. We got a Las Vegas Raider. Definitely, the Raiders have not been uh, extremely amazing with their offensive line, their protection. At the same time, they haven't had QBs that really can, you know, um, fork up the ball, in a timely manner. So I mean, you can't blame offensive line for every single little thing. I think they do that a lot. When everything's positive, they're saying how great the QB and the running back and the receivers, tight ends are. They're doing poorly. It's the offensive line's fault. When they're doing great, that's the offensive line's um, recognition. That should be it, right? When they're doing bad, it should be sure offensive line that should be put in a place of, hey, we got to protect better. But at the same time, I mean, when you get QBs that are just not built for the NFL, like that is just it's terrible just to see offensive line try their hardest to try to protect a guy, but the guy just does not know how to read anything or doesn't know his awareness. It sucks, dude. So overall, though, Colton Miller is one of these guys that's pretty great on the Raiders. Honestly, 28 years old, 6 years in the league, 2 years, $24.6 million. Played 13 games, 705 snaps. 1 penalty, 4 sacks allowed. Again, 4 sacks allowed. Not the greatest, but at the same time, did not allow double-digit sacks allowed. So that's cool. Overall, though, Cole Miller, he's not bad, man. He's been a solid offensive line guy there for a long time. So he should be recognized as an honorable mention. Braxton Jones, he's the next one, an honorable mention. For the Bears, is your really young offensive line. Definitely working its way to trying to be back on top, trying to be a threat in the NFC North, in the NFC, in the league. Definitely made some great money moves, and was able to um, do what they can in terms of upgrading everybody. And this Bears team does look like a threat in the NFC North, along with the whole NFC North. Overall, though, Braxton Jones, young guy, still developing, still can do so many great things. And he showed some flashes this year, definitely. You look at Braxton Jones, 25 years old, 2 years in the league, 2 years, $2.08 million left on the deal. 11 games that he played, 724 snaps, 9 penalties, 2 sacks allowed though. So overall, Braxton Jones had a solid year. Young guy, and yeah, I see nothing but potential up here for him. Charles Cross, honorable mention. Definitely a guy that was as a sophomore. Um, he definitely put up some okay numbers. I mean, definitely didn't start a whole season. Definitely is trying to get better. He's still young, man. He's gonna get those up and downs. Rookie season amazing. This past season it was kind of a little bit of a sophomore slump. At the same time, he's still extremely gifted. Still a great offensive tackle pick for the Seattle team. Seattle, they needed an offensive line from the get go that's been struggling for years to even find a solid guy. Charles Cross is going to be that guy for a long time. So, as long as he builds and gets better at his craft, I do believe he'll be a great, solid offensive tackle for a long time. Charles Cross, 23 years old, 2 years in the league, so super young. 2 years, $6.26 million left on the deal. 14 games played, 832 snaps. 5 penalties, 6 sacks allowed. Again, he's got a decline on the sacks allowed for sure. Penalties 5 could be worse, but yeah, he's got a decline on everything in that. And I think he's got the ability to. Definitely Seattle's got a great offensive line here, great offensive tackle pick here. So they should be happy with having a Charles Cross on their team anyway. So start the countdown. Number 10, we got Jake Matthews, offensive tackle, Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, Jake Matthews, underrated. I think really mainly the reason he's on this countdown is he played a lot of snaps, man, this year compared to tackles that didn't play that many snaps or just hasn't been a presence in the league yet. But Jake Matthews, he's thinly on 10, man. He's like 10 honorable mention for sure. Some of these guys will pass him for sure. Jake Matthews played 10 years in the league already, 32 years old. Huge name because the Matthews family is huge in the NFL. Bruce Matthews, Clay Matthews, etc. But you got 3 years, $46.5 million on the deal in Atlanta. He played 17 games, all 17, at the 1,061 snaps, 6 penalties, 5 sacks allowed. Overall, still solid, man. Still a solid offensive tackle. Atlanta is gonna, be sneakily good this year with their signings, and I do expect Jake Matthews to be a pretty pivotal point in the offensive line for this team to be successful. 9, we got Christian Darrisaw, man. Christian Darrisaw is an underrated offensive tackle that not many people really watch, but again, not many people watch offensive tackle or offensive line in general. Christian Darrisaw is a pivotal and will be a pivotal piece to this Vikings offense. Um, yeah, I mean, he's deserving of being a left tackle. He's so young, still got a lot of time left to improve. But what he does against some of the best pass rushers, for example, this one, Trey Hendrickson, did really good, man. Did really well, making sure that he did not get even close to the QB in this game. So it's good, man. It's good. Overall, Christian Darrisaw is raw, so he's still learning, man. Overall, 2 years, $18.5 million on the deal. 15 games that he played, 982 snaps, 7 penalties, 6 sacks allowed. So yeah, again, he's still improving, dude. He's still trying to learn the game. Still trying to probably process how to deal with some of the best pass rushers in the game. And that's hard, dude. That's hard. But overall, Christian Darrisaw is a solid guy. Solid guy. And yeah, he's deserving of being out here. So